I'm heading out, man. You want to ride?
No, I got my car, but I actually really need to go to the bathroom.
Dude, are you okay?
I am definitely buzzed.
Yeah.
I think I will take this and I will take that ride home.
If there's one thing every car guy hates, it's cleaning the garage. Do you want to take most of the time and hassle out of that job? Then call Zone Garage of Eastern Pennsylvania and New Jersey. Agnes and her crew will have your garage, shop, basement, or even your porch looking great all the time. With unique patterns and designs, plus the ability to incorporate your logo or any artwork, your space will never have looked better. Installation is done in 1 day, guaranteed, and Zone Garage offers a 20-year warranty on the top coat. Their coatings are durable, anti-slipped, and impact resistant. Give them a call at 570-856-6067. That's 570-856-6067 for Zone Garage of Eastern Pennsylvania and New Jersey.
I'm Ryan Newman, and since I started with Indiana Donor Network and Driven to Save Lives, I found out that some people think that they can't be an organ donor. The truth is, anyone can sign up to be an organ donor.
Anyone?
Anyone?
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. Anyone can sign up to be an organ donor. So don't count yourself out because somebody's counting on you. Go to driventosavelives.org and sign up today.
But my heart's going to you, Ryan.
Love that shirt.
Invasive species are one of the biggest issues facing our natural resources and the environment today. Think of things like Dutch elm disease, the spotted lanternfly, and cats. Perhaps the most dangerous of these is the Homo caput stercoris, commonly referred to as the front plater. An invasive species coming from New York, New Jersey, and anywhere else that has a license plate on the front of their car. The biggest threat from this pest is the spread of excrement. These savages cause harm to many native species and have even spawned an entirely new one, the Beltsville lake monster. Here at the DeWeather Institute for Climate Knowledge, we have a dedicated group of volunteers working tirelessly to clean up the mess. The team of emergency responders for dispersion and skimming, or the turds. But the job is just too big, and we can't do it without your help. So be a hero, be a turd. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Iowa Speedway, the TNT Shock Series, getting ready for round number 10, 11, 10, I think it is. Yeah, round number 10 coming up here for the TNT Shock Series. My name is Chris Graham with the National Racing Network. It is a pleasure to have you hanging out with us here this evening. Take a look at the results from 1 week ago. Daniel Smith getting a 12-second win at the Charlotte Motor Speedway Roval over Nagisa Yoshikawa. Jason Owens with a very good run to come home in the third position. J.W. Miller, Kevin Smalley, the only 5 cars that, that finished that race on the lead lap. Taking a look at the point standings. After that round number 9, Wes Shire holding on to a 12-point lead over Daniel Smith. It is going to be tight down to the wire here. Kevin Smalley, Jason Owens Even James Watson not necessarily out of the running yet, but they are going to definitely need some big-time help over the last 3 rounds. Could be a 3-man show here between Wes Shire, Daniel Smith, and Kevin Smalley. Definitely going to be an interesting one to watch for sure. Taking a look here at the lap times in practice as we're down to the final 2 minutes. Cullen Johnston going to be your quickest at a 20.889. 21.031 for Jason Owens. Dave Sparks completes the top 3. Show you the weather conditions this evening presented by our friends at the Weather Center. Offensively accurate weather for eastern Pennsylvania. 69 degree, nice ambient temperature. Wind's going to be out of the, we'll say south, southeast. Little swirly at 5 miles an hour. 71 degrees, the track temperature. So definitely going to be a little bit grippy out there this evening. Should make for a good night of racing all the way around. We are inside the final 90 seconds of qualifications here this evening. Just about a full field of 19 cars here this evening, so definitely going to make for a very interesting race here. We've seen long green flag runs, and we've seen a lot of carnage here. The exit of turn 4 can be especially tricky. Fuel strategy should not be a huge factor in tonight's race. It's going to be a 2-stop race for everybody. It's really going to more come down to when you make those stops. Obviously, the pit windows are going to open up at 15 minutes and at 30 minutes. If the yellows time out for you just right, very real possibility that somebody could try to sneak their way into victory lane. Pick up here with J.W. Miller as he makes his way off at turn number 4. Checkered flag will fly here on the practice session. And it is time to go qualifying here at the Iowa Speedway. Open qualifying, the name of the game for this one. That's going to make things very, very interesting. Daniel Smith going to be the first car off of the pit lane. He wants to set a lap in clean air. That 95 machine has been, quite frankly, incredible on the road courses this season. Good on the ovals, not great. And Daniel's going to be the first one to admit that. Only driver with multiple wins this season in the TNT Series is Daniel Smith. 6 starts, 4 wins. That's what has him up at the front of the field. Wes Shire, your point leader, though. In 9 starts, 5 top 5s, 8 top 10 finishes. Tied for the series lead in bonus points with Daniel Smith at 13. That's what's going to make things really interesting to watch this one as we get down into the later stretches of this one. All the way down to 17th place, Stephen Thompson. Drivers have at a minimum of 4 starts in the series. Handful of drivers a little bit deeper in the standings with that same number of starts. Let's show you the timing and scoring up here as we are a minute and a half in. Cullen Johnston going to be your quickest at a 21.127. DeWeather Center on the side of that number 84. New quick time, Wes Shire, 20.880 seconds. Dave Sparks going to get a good lap in as well at a 21.008. You can see why Wes Shire is setting the quick lap times. He is getting a huge tow from those cars in front of him. Over the line, Jason Owens up to second quick, 20.967 seconds. Jason with already a win tonight. Working tight in the draft with Christian Jasper. Owens getting the win in the free V-Series race at Lanier. See what this group's going to do coming across the line. No big changes. James Watson moves up to 7th at a 21.205. You'll see it. The laps are going to tick off here in a big-time hurry. They'll stay right in that 21-second bracket for about the entire race. "45 minutes, could be as many as 125 laps they turn around this place tonight. That's if we go green the entire race. But this is going to be darn near a pack race as well. Take a look at Dave Sparks in the double O, currently running in the 4th position. He's getting the nice tow from Kevin Smalley, but let's keep an eye on Simon Fell here. Simon may get a very good lap out of this one as well. He's going to get a big tow down the backstretch. A little bit of a push on corner exit. Still 21.167, the lap time for Simon Fell. You see all the orange at the bottom of the screen. This is one of the issues with getting the big tow. You're going to get a great tow. The problem is you're also going to get a lot of dirty air, and these cars will become very difficult to handle, especially in the low downforce qualifying trims. Mike McConville on a pretty good lap here. He goes personal best a couple of times. That's going to move him up to the 11th position, working behind J.W. Miller. Drivers were talking a fair bit about burning off the right rear tire of these cars. Very easy to get the power down too early on corner exit. The other one that was discussed was practicing green flag pit stops. Very easy to wad up an entire hunk of this field. And checkered flag is out on qualifications, and it's going to be Westshire leading the field to green this evening. Well done, Mike. Thank you for starting the attenuator party a little bit early here. Westshire getting another pole position. That will be his 3rd of the season, tying him with Daniel Smith. That is going to be a heavyweight fight all the way down to the end of this season. Field going to get ready to come out on to the grid. Let's take a look here, give you the nice overhead shot as we present to you tonight's starting grid. It will be Westshire and Jason Owens occupying the front row for tonight's race. Cullen Johnson and Dave Sparks on row number 2. Chris Kresge, Nagisa Yashikawa on row 3. Row 4, Simon Fell and James Watson. Daniel Smith, J.W. Miller on row number 5. Row 6 will have Christian Jasper and Mike McConville. Kevin Smalley and Chad Irvine on row number 7. Alex Teeter and Stephen C. Thompson on row number 8. Row 9, Rick Cleary and Peter Donchak, and all alone in row number 10 will be Bill Walker. Just waiting on Dave Sparks and Daniel Smith to get their cars onto the grid, and we will be ready to roll. See if we can get a quick word in here with our pole sitter tonight, Westshire, and Tell you what, Wes, you were talking about looking forward to this race. The car was pretty much a rocket ship there, getting to the front and putting it on the front row.
Yep, just had to play the draft game a little bit, but I think I was on for pole anyway if we were in single car qualifying. Set definitely has a 21 flat in it in clean air. So, yeah,
what are you thinking now as we get into the race here? I'm anticipating a lot of 3 wide, a lot of kind of insanity in places. What are you thinking here?
Yeah, that definitely sounds like what we're in for tonight. This is going to be quite the race. So watch for a lot of tire wear on the right rear for some guys and some on the right front. I think the guy with the best set's probably going to win the race tonight. It's going to be a really, really interesting race.
All right, Wes. Well, thank you very much. Congratulations on another TNT Series pole award. And there you go. You heard the man talk about it. This one's going to be a lot of fun. 7/8 of a mile, designed by NASCAR Hall of Famer Rusty Wallace. Basically is a higher banked, overgrown Richmond. Just everything about this place is just a little bit bigger than Richmond Raceway. And we are going to see some absolutely incredible racing out of this field. Dave Sparks missing the grid, so he will not get to start from position number 4. It's going to bump the entire outside lane up a row. Not sure what the issue may have been there for Dave Sparks, but looks like if he's going to start this race, it will have to come from the pit lane. Field making their way down the back straightaway. Pace car will dive in about the entry to turn number 4. The field will be under the control of Wes Shire and Jason Owens. And as always, race fans, the start of the TNT Shock Series at Iowa is going to be all yours. One lap cleanly in the books, and it will belong to Jason Owens. It was Wes Shire leading at the line. Owens to the inside. Wes Shire up to the outside. Cullen Johnston, Nagisa Ashikawa going to hold on side by side for position number 3 as well. Oh, and Wes Shire goes around. Wes Shire spins in front of the field, and nobody hit him. Oh, my goodness. Wow, getting you the Hot Shoe Racewear instant replay on this one. Just a little bit too much on exit. There you saw the little twitch. I can't believe that nobody made contact with Wes Shire. Code Brown moment. For sure. And Dave Sparks did get out onto the racetrack. He did elect to start from the pit lane. Now we got several cars that are deciding whether they're going to come down pit road or not. Mike McConville does come down the pit lane. Looks like Kevin Smalley, Peter Donchak, Wes Shire all going to come into the pits. Strategy games already in play here at the Iowa Speedway. McConville down and away cleanly. 5.18 seconds, the time of the stop for Mike McConville. Wes Shire just now getting to his box. 6.53 seconds, the time of the stop for Wes Shire. He's obviously going to stop for fresh Cooper tires. Peter Donchak, 4.8 seconds, time of the stop. Kevin Smalley, an 11.78 second stop there. on basically lap number 2 or 3. Here comes James Watson down the pit lane now, along with J.W. Miller. Chad Irvine thought about it. Looks like Rick Cleary is going to be coming in as well. So the strategy game's starting early here at Iowa. With them running 2 pace laps, that definitely burns significantly more fuel than what you might think, as these cars do not have the engine mapping or any of that kind of electronic stuff. Watson able to get out of the pits. J.W. Miller, on the other hand, got the red light at the end of pit lane. He had to come to a stop and let the rest of the field go by. Yeah, it looks like James Watson may have exited a closed pit, because he's going to tail in behind J.W. Miller. Could also be an EOL penalty for pitting out of sequence as well. Basically, if you're a lead lap car, you have to come in the first time. If you come in the second time by without stopping on the first, that will get you a penalty. Mike McConville back on the pit lane. He's going to top that 06 machine off the Sirius XM car. AutoNation also on the side of that one. So Jason Owens, Cullen Johnston, Nagisa Yoshikawa, Chris Kresge, and Simon Fell, your top 5. Don't get to talk a lot about Chris Kresge here. Let's get you the close-up look at that 777 machine. The RIL on the side of that one. We are ready to go back to green flag racing. Jason Owens gapping back to the pace car. A little bit of the Colton Hurtis strategy here. Green flag's out. We are once again underway. Owens got a great start. Cullen Johnston dives down to the inside. Oh, we are very quickly back to yellow. Trouble for Daniel Smith and Peter Donchak. Let's take a look. You wonder if that wasn't a consequence of the kind of bunching things up on the start here. We'll see. Oh, man, Smith just lost it on corner entry. Several cars going to be collected. Oh, and Wes Shire was involved in that one. Wes Shire is involved. Both of your points leaders going to be on pit lane. Man, that was a mess. It started with Daniel Smith getting loose into the corner. Take a look here and see what happened a little bit further back. There's the car spinning. Oh, Mike McConville getting into the back of Wes Shire. Little bit of damage there to the number 16. We'll get you the close-up here, but it doesn't look like the car is beat up too bad. I don't think Mike McConville necessarily lost a wing there either. But man, 9 laps in, we are on caution flag number 2. Simon Fell is in the pits, Wes Shire, Mike McConville, Chad Irvine, Stephen Thompson, and Daniel Smith. Smith had to take the tow. We talked about the point situation here. Kevin Smalley running in 9th, standing to have the best night of the top 3 in points to this point. We mentioned, don't count out Jason Owens. With these issues early on, Jason Owens could make up a ton of points heading into the last 2 rounds of the season. So we'll see if the lights are going to go out on the iRacing safety car this time by, and they will. Getting ready to go back to green flag racing for the third time here. Jason Owens still leading Cullen Johnston, Nagisa Yoshikawa, Chris Kresge, and now Christian Jasper. See what's going to happen here off of turn number 2, now into 3. Cullen Johnston way up on the high side. He wants a piece of Jason Owens for the race lead, and he'll get him down the front straightaway. Put Cullen Johnston up to the front of the field. Here comes Nagisa Yoshikawa looking inside of Owens. Things settling down at the front. That is not true. Deeper in the field. Kevin Smalley battling side by side with Dave Sparks, James Watson, J.W. Miller there as well. Wes Shire's car looks to be okay after that little bit of contact from Mike McConville. Daniel Smith back on the pit lane. Already 6 laps down, and he will go down even more. Mike McConville, Chad Irvine, Stephen Thompson currently out of the race. Christian Jasper battling with Alex Teeter. That's the fight for the 5th position. And with this much yellow, you wonder if we're only going to see possibly one more stop. Front of the field settling in, but the Hornets' nest continues to rage back here from 5th place on back. Teeter able to clear Christian Jasper. James Watson looking to the inside of Bill Walker. Teeter up 10 spots. Walker up 11 from the start of this race. Christian Jasper looking to the inside of Alex Teeter. They'll race side by side down the back straightaway. The nightmare night for Daniel Smith continues. He has to take the tow into the pit area. May be the end of the night for Daniel Smith and a 16th place finish here. Things get a little spicy at the front of the field. Jason Owens looking to the inside of Cullen Johnston. He wants the race lead back. Still seeing potentially about 89 laps to go here. Johnston right back down to the inside. He'll take the lead through 3. Yoshikawa and Kresge holding on. But you got to go back 2 seconds to find Alex Teeter. And it is that whole pack of race cars from 5th all the way back to 14th running together. Battle for the race lead continues side by side off of 4. So far, the top 6 have not made a pit stop. I would anticipate seeing those first stops at about the 20-minute mark now, if not even a little bit later into the race, only because we had so many caution flag laps at the start. Top 4 single file, the rest of the pack getting single filed out as well. We'll pick up Alex Teeter, Christian Jasper, and the train that they're leading. Side-by-side battle, Bill Walker, Kevin Smalley, Dave Sparks following in close behind. West Shire are going to be scored 1 lap down to the race leaders. You wonder if he's not playing a very, very long game now on fuel. Your time on pit road is looking to be right about 40 seconds or so, 42 seconds. Oh, hard into the wall goes J.W. Miller. That will bring out the caution flag. That was a huge hit into the safer barrier for J.W. Miller. Show it to you on the Hot Shoe Racewear instant replay. A little bit of contact from Simon Fell. And a big-time hit for J.W. Miller. So now it raises the question of when do we see the race leaders on pit lane? They're going to have to get packed up behind the iRacing safety car first. That will happen here on the back straightaway. Again, the top 6 cars have not made a pit stop yet. And Chad Irvine checking in the comments. Checked up for the spinner, got ran over. That's my luck in this series. It does sort of feel that way, doesn't it, Chad? Unfortunate, man. Little bit surprising here. Everybody on the lead lap coming in here at the 15-minute mark. The window is open for the first round of pit stops. But they will be shorter stops purely because we've run so many laps under caution early in this race. Got you the look here at Jason Owens. He's going to be down and away cleanly off of pit road. And Jason Owens will lead the parade. Going to be Cullen Johnston, Nagisa Ashikawa, Kevin Smalley, Chris Kresge, your top 5 as they come off of pit lane. 41.5 seconds, identical pit lane times for your top 2 cars. Time of the stop, the advantage goes to Cullen Johnston by 0.8 of a second. The difference was Jason Owens had a pretty decent gap as they got onto the pit lane. West Shire electing to stay out on the racetrack as everybody else pits. That will put him back on the lead lap. Let's see if we can get a quick word in here with Wes. He'll get ready to take the wave around. And Wes, how is that number 16 Homestead coffee machine?
It's good in clean air, but through some significant fault of my own, I'm not really in clean air this race.
Yeah, you're going to have to work your way up from the back here. Did the car sustain any damage in that contact with Mike McConville as you guys were trying to check up for the incident in front of you?
Yeah, it took 30 seconds of required repairs. It's really the only reason I'm a lap down here. So we'll see. I think I'm still in this on fuel strategy. It's going to be real tight, though.
I was going to say, get the Scott Dixon fuel refinery fired up there in the Homestead coffee machine, and good luck the rest of the way.
Yeah, thanks.
There you go. West Shire currently running in the 14th position, and he doesn't think he's out of this one yet, as we are already almost 20 minutes into this 45-minute race. the irony, I was quite literally just about to talk about Daniel Smith and Wes Shire averaging 2 and 1.78 incidents per race. That includes the little off tracks at the road courses and everything else. And both of those drivers having major issues here this evening. Got to give a shout out here. Cullen Johnston currently running in the second position. Second start of the season only, but he has 0 incidents. We'll see if he can keep that streak up here this evening. Lights are out on the iRacing safety car. You see Wes Shire take it off. He'll be able to catch up to the back of the field after taking the wave around. Field will come back to green right about at the 20-minute mark. And this one is going to be a pretty darn spectacular race here as we get things rolling once again. Owens able to get the good start. He'll gap Cullen Johnston by 5 car lengths at the start-finish line. That gap won't last forever, though. Kevin Smalley thought about having a peek on Nagisa Yashikawa. Here comes Cullen Johnston down to the inside. Battle for the race lead heads to 3. Johnston easily passing Jason Owens. He'll slide up in front. Owens with a crossover down the front stretch. Give it to Jason Owens at the line. Nagisa Yashikawa 3 wide into turn number 1. Kevin Smalley's going to be right there. 3 cars battling 3 wide for the race lead. And we're not even to the halfway point yet. Kevin Smalley got caught right back up on this. They'll now run side by side through turns 1 and 2. Cullen Johnston able to clear out easily to the race lead. A little bit further back in the pack, Bill Walker, Christian Jasper, Dave Sparks fighting. How about they're going to try 3 wide into 3 as well? Couple of very solid packs forming up right now. Your race leaders sitting about 2 seconds ahead of this group. Don't count out some of the cars at the tail end here. Christian Jasper, Wes Shire, James Watson. Those guys are no slouch. Simon Fell even a little bit further back in the pack. Top 4 running single file, distancing themselves out from Chris Kresge in the 5th position. James Watson battling with Dave Sparks. Watson up on the outside of the racetrack, trying to stay right in the toe of Wes Shire and Christian Jasper. Wes talked about the fact that he's going to have to make a pretty monster fuel number as we are side by side for the race lead once again. Owens to the outside, Johnston to the inside. Who's it going to be at the line? Give it to Jason Owens by a third of a car length. That time by the Weather Center, number 84, Cullen Johnston. The Riley Children's Foundation Extra Life, number 87, Jason Owens. Battling at the front of the field, Kevin Smalley, Nagisa Yashikawa run third and fourth. Trouble on the racetrack for Rick Cleary. He looks like he will be able to continue, so we stay under the green flag. Oh, there's contact. Cullen Johnston's going to be hard into the inside wall. Contact with Jason Owens. We're going to stay green. Show you the Hot Shoe Racewear instant replay of this one off of turn number 2. Oh, man, that may have been some left side loving there from Jason Owens. But Cullen Johnston has to take the toe into the pit area. Owens going to hold a 3/4 of a second lead over Kevin Smalley. What a heartbreaker for Cullen Johnston, having a great run at the front of the field. But we will stay green just past the halfway point. That probably was the yellow that Wes Shire wanted to see. Here's Jasper, Shire, and Watson. Battling tight off of turn number 4. They've got Bill Walker right with him as well. Watson thought about making it 3 wide. He slides back up the racetrack. A little bit of a bizzle there on Walker. West Shire able to clear Christian Jasper. Watson going to try to do the same. Jasper has to run the high line through 3 and 4. West Shire with a great recovery drive back up to the 6th position as Dave Sparks going to make his way down pit lane. Top 5 all single file. But if they get to battling, that's going to really draw up that second pack of cars. Owens bails off deep down to the inside into 3. He's going to slide up the racetrack. Going to keep Kevin Smalley right there with him. Slide back in the pack here as Christian Jasper and West Shire are back to being side by side. Attrition definitely taking its toll here this evening. Down to just 11 cars remaining on the lead lap and 13 on the racetrack right now. Cullen Johnston, who runs in the 13th position, is in the pit lane getting service done on the number 84. Questionable that we'll see that car back out on the racetrack. Rick Cleary back into the pits as well. Watson able to hold off Christian Jasper to this point. But that little bit of dueling has allowed West Shire to open up about a 5-car length gap over Watson. They're going to have to get in line if they want to catch the race leaders. The gap currently sitting right about 1.8 seconds. Take a look here at your top 5. We're actually not all that far from the final pit window of the race opening at the 30-minute mark. In fact, the word we were hearing was about 17 minutes of green flag racing. About 16 and a half is what they're going to get. So we're right about in the window of when we would expect to see the lead cars coming into pit lane. Nagisa Ashikawa down to the inside of Kevin Smalley. Oh man, Alex Teeter, Chris Kresge almost making contact at the entry to turn 1. The second pack of cars is definitely strung out now. Westshire holding a 0.6 of a second gap over Christian Jasper. Another half second back to James Watson. You wonder if those cars aren't in a very, very heavy fuel save mode. One car way down to the inside. That may be Westshire. He is coming on to the pit lane for what will be the final stop of the race. Westshire trying to put everybody else into the danger zone. The Homestead Coffee number 16 will head down to the attention of his crew. He is going to go laps down in the process. But basically at this point, West needs everybody else to now cycle through their pit stops. Going to try to make the undercut strategy work. Down and away, 6.77 seconds. Christian Jasper now on the pit lane this time by. Keep our eye here at the front of the field. See when these final stops are going to come. 6.77 seconds. Also the time of the stop for Christian Jasper for a full tank of fuel for fresh Cooper tires. Going on that number 67, and Westshire is able to come around Jasper, and he puts a pretty significant gap on him as well. Gap settling down to about 1.25 seconds. Question becomes, when does the top 5 hit pit road? Is the undercut strategy going to be worth it here? Trouble on the racetrack. James Watson having an issue. Off of turn number 4, that car goes around, loops down to the inside of the racetrack. No harm, no foul, but it does bring out the yellow flag, and that is exactly what Westshire and Christian Jasper did not want to see. They needed that green flag run to stay on the long side of things. Because they'll even have to restart behind James Watson. So let's see who elects to come down pit road. Should be everybody on the lead lap to make their final stop. That'll give Shire and Jasper the opportunity to stay out and take the wave around. And that is the case. All of your front-running cars making their way down pit road. Seeing Kenneth checking in the comments. Let's go, Watson. Well, James is going to need a little bit of help here. May have made his own luck in some respects because his spin is what brought out the caution flag. Jason Owens going to be the first car off pit lane, 4.72 seconds. Same time of the stop for Kevin Smalley. Nagisa Yoshikawa, 6.73 seconds. Alex Teeter, Chris Kresge, the top 5. Simon Feld, James Watson, Bill Walker, and Peter Donchak all going to remain on the lead lap. And there you see Dave Sparks, Wes Shire, and Christian Jasper ahead of race leader Jason Owens. They will get to take the wave around, but they're going to have to restart back there in the 10th and 11th positions. Dave Sparks will go back to being 1 lap down. See, we can't get a word in here very quickly with Jason Owens. Jason, that number 87 machine has looked pretty darn sporty there at the front of the field. You've had some competition, but we're going to be down to like a 10-minute hot lap shootout here.
Yeah, I hate that for Colin. He and I were going back and forth. I mean, you guys obviously saw it better than me. It kind of felt like netcode. I was trying to side draft him off of 2, and I mean, I didn't get any damage, so I don't know. Like, that sucks. I feel like it's been a contactful evening for me on TNT tonight, and that's not how I like to be, so I'm disappointed in myself.
I'll tell you what, I think there was a fair bit of netcode in it. It did look like you were coming down, but like you said, it looked more like a side draft than it did a block attempt gone wrong or something like that. And the way Cullen's car shot off like a rocket, it definitely had that feeling of netcode. But what are you thinking here as we're now inside of 10 minutes to go? Fuel's not going to be an issue for anybody. I think we're going to see some exciting stuff here.
Yeah, I will say you guys probably want to put a good eye on Wes coming through the field with his rocket ship set. Christian's going to try and come through the field. And Kevin and Nagisa they're super stout. I can't get away from them. I think it's going to be a shootout. It's going to be a lot of fun. Like you said, everybody should be good on fuel unless they really jacked up their fuel number at the stop. Other than that, I hope we go green the rest of the way.
I hope so, too. Nagisa's no slouch. Alex Teeter's been quick. And even Chris Kresge hanging out back there. Some names we don't get to talk about a ton in this series are putting on a show here tonight.
Yeah, I'm super happy to see that. I love seeing some fresh faces out front. I will say Kresge here and Worldwide Tech, that guy has a special sauce at these 2 tracks. So it's really good to see him running up here near the front. And, man, just hopefully I can bring it home in the top 3 here at the end of the race and keep it clean and get a good finish.
All right, Jason, good luck the rest of the way. Thank you very much for checking in with us here. And there you go. It's going to be interesting, to say the least, here in this one. Let us know in the comments, who's your pick to win? Who's it going to be? Is it Jason Owens? Is it Kevin Smalley? Does Smalley give Owens the bump and run to make a monster gain in the points late in this one? We're going to find out here as we are down to 8 minutes remaining. Great flags back in the air. We are underway once again here at the Iowa Speedway. Owens way down to the inside trying to break the draft. I don't know that that's going to do him much help. Smalley and Yoshikawa nose to tail through 1 and 2. They're going to get the huge run. Here comes Teeter and Kresge. They're bringing Simon Feld right with them. Teeter to the inside of Yoshikawa. That's what Owens and Smalley want to see. Get the field fighting and dicing back behind them. Kresge and James Watson going to be battling here as well. Watson able to clear Kresge down to the inside. One car got up possibly into the outside wall. That may have been Peter Donchak. How about James Watson in the 39? Easily cleared Chris Kresge, easily clears Simon Feld. That car is hooked up. Does he have enough time to get to the front, though? He's going to need a little bit of help, and he may get it with Jason Owens and Kevin Smalley starting to do battle. Owens and Smalley are two of the smarter drivers here. The word from Jason Owens, keep your eye on Wes Shire. Well, here he comes, just getting past Bill Walker. How about James Watson goes fastest lap of the race? He's right up on the back of Nagisa Yoshikawa. Watson stopped in his pit box for almost 2 seconds longer than everybody else on the lead lap. You wonder if he didn't put some adjustments, especially some wing adjustments, into that number 39, trying to extract just a little bit more speed out of it late in the race. But Watson again went fastest lap, 21:095 that last time by. Down to 5 minutes remaining here at the Iowa Speedway. Wes Shire setting the fastest lap of the race out of the 7th position. He's around Chris Kresge. He's inside of Wes Shire. James Watson around the outside of Nagisa Yoshikawa. Shire not able to complete the pass either. Little twitch out of the back end of Wes Shire off at turn number 2 that time. Things heating up a little bit at the front of the field. Kevin Smalley staying right in nose to tail. But here's Wes Shire. He's to the inside of Simon Fell. I think this Owens guy might know a little bit of what the heck he's talking about. Wes Shire with a great run. He restarted this race in 11th. Already up to the 6th position with 3 minutes and 55 seconds remaining. The problem for these guys is we may be in the window where a caution flag could end the race. If the battle for the lead heats up, that will bring Alex Teeter, James Watson, and Nagisa Yoshikawa into play. Kevin Smalley does not want to make that move too early. A shot at the win could turn into a shot at 5th or 6th. Not sure why Alex Teeter's trying to break the draft down the front straightaway there. He needs the help from Watson and Yoshikawa to get up to the front. And that gap is closing. Wes Shire already up to the back of Nagisa Yoshikawa. Inside of 3 minutes to play here at Iowa. Watson around Teeter. Wes Shire had the fastest lap. He's going to try to go 2 for 1. Had to back out of it in a big way. Lost a bunch of time there. This group of 3 has to get themselves single file. They are not doing themselves any favors here. Teeter looking to the inside of Yoshikawa into 1. Top 3 still separated by a couple of tenths each. Shire going to make it 3 wide down to the inside. This is the recovery drive Wes Shire needed if he wants to try to win a championship here in the TNT Shock Series. Main championship rival Daniel Smith out of the race will finish in the 16th position. But an issue now this late in the race could still put Shire all the way back to 12th. Now we're getting into go time here if you're Kevin Smalley and James Watson. A caution deeper in the field will end this race. And we are down to just 60 seconds remaining. Wes Shire again sets the fastest lap of the race, 21.004. Should be right about 3 laps to go here at the Iowa Speedway. Jason Owens holding on to a 2/10 of a second lead, but James Watson giving Kevin Smalley that little bit of an arrow shove. 30 seconds to go. Who's it going to be? Owens, Smalley, or Watson? Comments starting to light up. A lot of love for Kevin Smalley, a lot of love for James Watson. But they're going to have to do something here. White flag is out, 1 lap to go in Iowa. I don't think Kevin Smalley has the horses under the hood of that 7 car to get up to the front. We'll see what happens off of turn number 4. Twin checkers in the air. Win number 2 of the night goes to Jason Owens. Kevin Smalley, James Watson finishing 0.3 of a second behind your race leader. Nagisa Yoshikawa and Wes Shire round out your top 5. What a fantastic race here at the Iowa Speedway this evening. Jason Owens getting the win over Smalley, Watson, Yoshikawa, and Shire. Teeter, Fell, Kresge, Jasper, and Donchak complete the top 10. Bill Walker, Dave Sparks, Cullen Johnston, Rick Cleary, and J.W. Miller back through 15th position. 16 to 20, Daniel Smith, Mike McConville, Chad Irvine, and Stephen Thompson. That is a jacked up Jason Owens trying to burn him down here. It's not going to work real well in the grass, though. What goes first, the tires or the motor on that 87 machine? Good Lord. First win in quite a while for Jason Owens. Just his 2nd win of the season. Got the win on the opening night out in Phoenix. And it has been a long row since then. In fact, a couple of deep in the pack finishes, but that is definitely going to make the point standings interesting here. We'll get our victory lane interviews ready to roll. Unfortunately, we won't have our runner-up finisher tonight here available for an interview, Kevin Smalley, battling a little bit of, we'll say, a cold and flu bug at this point. The voice is very scratchy, it was the word that we got from Kevin here. Let's get things fired up here for your victory lane interviews. Oh, we are going to have Kevin Smalley, but let's start things off here with Jason Owens. And I'll tell you what, man, that final restart was absolutely the key to the victory there tonight.
Man, I knew if I could get away, I could play shadow games and put air on and off Kevin and hopefully keep him behind me. He was super quick. I don't know if Nagisa's tires went off there at the end, but I was actually really scared that those two guys were going to be able to jump me, particularly on the first 2 or 3 laps out. And man, holy crap! Feels so good to be back in victory lane in this series, man. Yeah, podium on the Roval last week was great, but man, I absolutely love this track. I can't wait to go here in season 1 and PM18 officials right here on NRN TV. Whew, man, what a great race! I feel terrible about the contact with Cullen. Want to give a shout out to Wes, who was on and off the lead lap all night with a great recovery drive. May have salvaged his championship tonight with that P5. What a great race. I hope the broadcast was as fun as it was to drive in this race.
Yes, it was. We got to see a couple of big-time shows put on late. You talked about Wes having a rocket ship coming from the back. James Watson had a rocket ship coming from the back. We got to see cars going front to back. The leaders were dicing all over the place. This really was a really fun show, and we got a couple more big ones coming up here. The point standings have absolutely tightened up here. You gained a bunch on Wes. You gained a ton on Daniel. Kevin is right there as well. We could be looking at a 4-car fight for the points championship here, depending on how these last couple of races shake out.
We totally could. I'm kind of hoping we go into a worldwide tech with almost like a NASCAR top 4 shootout. Whoever ends up winning or highest finisher wins the championship. How cool would that be to do it naturally and not manufacture that crap like NASCAR does?
I was going to say, we've got a shot to do it here. We go head off to Richmond Raceway next week. I'm anticipating a lot of similar racing to what we saw here this evening.
I mean, right? Like, I was big brother to Richmond. It's funny, they're the same shape, very similar profile, but because Richmond is 3/4 of a mile and this track is 7/8, you almost have to run max high downforce at Richmond, whereas here you're A1. It's still, you got to have a really good handling car, and you got to be able to roll entry to 1 and exit of 4 really well. I like my set there, and I really am glad. Again, Richmond, another track we have on season 1 and PM18 officials. So I think it's going to be a blast next Tuesday night. I'm excited for it.
Well, we're looking forward to it for sure, and let's make sure we get all the sponsor plugs and thank yous in here before we let you go.
Right on. Obviously, Extra Life for Kids, Riley Children's, Riley Kids, Riley Children's Hospital here in Indianapolis, NRN TV, and TNT Promotions. Just want to give a shout out to all these sponsors and everything that makes this series go around. It looks like we had a pretty awesome night on the Rock Block. Hey, if anybody's watching at home and they want to put their name on this deal, hit up Chris or myself, and it could be the TNT Rock Block presented by you. So we've definitely got that opportunity available.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Well, thank you very much, Jason. We appreciate it here. And let's bring in our runner-up finisher for a very, very quick conversation here. We know he's a little bit under the weather. Kevin, congratulations on a very nice podium finish. Ultimately, Jason just having a little bit too much horsepower under the hood there.
Yeah, it might have been more tire related than horsepower. I never took tires that race. The way that strategy was working out and a couple of quick pits to try to move up through the field, I ended up never taking tires. So one of my last checks, I guess the second to last stop, I still had decent life left and made the decision not to get tires on the last stop, and then came out and checked where they were, and it was only at 72%, so it wasn't a great decision. But yeah, so I pretty much was cruising, hoping for the best.
Excuse me. Well, you got a great finish out of it, and just as important, that was a very big points night for you as well. Obviously, you're going to gain a little bit on West. You gained a ton on Daniel. Got to be a lot of confidence here as we head off to Richmond and Gateway to close out the season.
Yeah, I still think that West probably has it in the bag without some bad luck, and I also think Jason's definitely stronger than me at Gateway. Maybe I'll have something for him at Richmond, but we'll have to see. That's why we run the races, right?
Absolutely. And before we let you go here, let's make sure we get all your sponsor plugs and thank yous in.
Every manufacturer of cold medicine. Appreciate them this week. And actually Wes, of all people. I didn't have any time to work on a set, so I grabbed his for a starting baseline, made a tweak or two to it that I will reciprocate and share back with him. And he got me off to a great start since I didn't really have any practice time this week.
All right, Kevin. Well, thank you very much here. Feel well, brother. We're looking forward to talking to you again next week.
Sounds good. And hey, look, I did it without coughing. How about that?
Yeah, there you go. He didn't sound like complete death here in that one. Let's get our final podium finisher in here. James Watson, you were sideways and spun around with about 20 minutes to go in this one. How the hell did you finish third?
I finally caught a couple breaks. So my car was very good on the short run, but for whatever reason, it was just loosened up something terrible as the run went on. I think I kind of scraped the wall entering turn one, like right before that second caution. The car was just never the same since, but it really helped for the most part getting around people. I still had to. That was probably one of my ballsiest ever races in this series because the whole time I'm pushing and I'm on the edge. Like, the wheel is in the neutral position going around the corner. That's how loose it was and how much of a fine balance I was having to run while trying to push like hell, trying to get by everyone.
Well, you put on a great show out there. Did you think you had anything for Kevin late in that run, or was it more just a matter of kind of hold on to it and bring home the podium?
I think I had something for Kevin, but I think he had just a little too much dirty air on his car for me to contend with. And I just could never get to his outside. I got close a couple times, but at the end, not really close enough.
Taking a look at the point standings here, with the exception of Daniel, you're right there with everybody at the top that's in front of you. But maybe the bigger deal tonight is you gained some big-time points on Simon, JW, and Mike McConville, looking very, very strong for a top 5 finish in the point standings here.
Yeah, it's kind of the best I can hope for at this point. I've kind of thrown away my any chance at the top 3. I've had a rough season with a lot of bad luck and a lot of dumb mistakes, so that's kind of my ceiling at this point.
Well, I tell you what, man, it was another very, very good run tonight for you here in the TNT Shock Series, and another Victory Lane interview. So that's not a bad way to round out the night here.
Hey.
What are you thinking here? Let's get all the sponsor plugs and thank yous out of the way before we let you go.
Hell yeah, always got to thank you at NRN. Rocket Racing Setups, use code Watson15 to save 15% off at checkout. Raise Energy, use code TWR15 for 15% off. MTWR Landscaping and ZAS Designs. And Martin Sports. Check out their website at martinsports906.com.
All right, buddy. Well, thank you very much. We appreciate your help here earlier in the night. And I tell you what, we are wrapping things up here for a very big night of racing here on the National Racing Network. We've gotten to do a lot of fun stuff tonight. The Free V Series was absolutely spectacular as always. Make sure you check those broadcasts out. I kid you not. Good Lord, man. The Free Vs are just fun to watch. And we get to be a little bit snarkier. That's a little bit more of a fun series for us. TNT Bolt Series was a very good race as well. Congratulations to Matt Houston for picking up the win there. And Jason Owens doubles up for the night, getting the win in Free V and the TNT Shock Series right here at the Iowa Speedway. Coming up on Thursday night, it will be the Indy Pro 2000 Championship. The Grid Rival Ezra IndyCar Series is off this week. We'll have Gary Godso on the call for that one, and thank you very much for Gary and Matt and the whole Race First team for picking up the slack here for us as we will be out of town. But Looking forward to a whole lot of action coming up. Next week, we kick things back off Monday night with the Silver Crown Cup official series and the TNT Rock Block coming right back at you next Tuesday night. For Connor Baldwin, as always, a fantastic job on the camera design, brother. We really appreciate your help. My name is Chris Graham. Thank you very much for hanging out with us here. I will talk to you next Monday night for the Silver Crowns right here on the National Racing Network.